Okay, this is a new one.
New shit!
There we go. I just wrote this one the other day. It was rattling around in my head, and I showed it to two people, and both of them who I really trust, and one of them said it was really good, and the other one said something else that I can't remember. Anyway, it's called What Do You Need? This is a story about a nation state that is... Sorry, I'll start again. This is a story about a nation state that is valued by the way that people feel about themselves. This place is an economy. It also has employment and unemployment indexes. The most important measure that this place has, though, is the registry of self-worth. Well, you might ask, how do you measure such a wonderfully human thing? To start with, the public service set up a new department to keep an index on how self-worth was tracking. It is named the Department of Our Self-Esteem. The employees are painters, musicians, sculptors, and in the basement, the poets. Not because they were sent there, that's where they chose to be. They sit beside the economists who worry that their own worth is slowly becoming redundant. This collective of artists keep no strict hours, no performance targets. They have one job. It's not like science, but it is applied. Measuring the self-esteem of the nation, that's their KPI. After many late nights, songs are being written, poems recited and paintings hung. They came up with a plan that was cunning indeed. After initial hellos, people should then simply ask each other, what do you need? No, not saying what do you want, or the classic passive-aggressive, can I help you? Or that famous Australian one, please explain. This should be crafted and caring. A form of inquiry that's not sympathetic, but respectful, with empathy. The department came up with a campaign that did slowly succeed. They surveyed the responses of people who love being asked what they need. An autistic boy was asked what he needs by a passerby. He said, "Thanks, mister. I just love the quiet." Not everyone gets it that easy though. Some take more time. If that happens, you can apply to the department to have a listener assigned. Then the asking really took off. People stopped screaming about what was wrong and what they wanted. Some just stopped giving orders. Now there is no need. They were trying to add to the nation's self-esteem. A woman was asked about her needs, and she said, "I want me and my child to find my community." And in the beginning, it wasn't like people were giving stuff away, no. That began when businesses started being valued in a completely different way. Their worth wasn't estimated on what they owned, although it was still important for them to have shares, credits and other reserves. Within the offices, things really changed, as people kept asking each other, well, what do you need? They didn't mind asking, are you okay? But this new question showed that the old style was starting to fray. The power was in the listening, and it took over. People at their best because they weren't thinking of themselves. Companies are expanding into areas under new meaning of profit and loss. They now ask people what they need from them. Realising that you can't take someone else's self-esteem without risking your own. Under a new form of rationalising, companies search for people who need them. The new employees have revolutionised the interview process by simply sitting, listening and asking. Old employees ask their workmates the same question, what do you need? The payoff is in the answers. As people of all ages articulate their dreams, the quality of responses are now noted by the powerful department of our self-esteem. Before imagination runs away, though, I must say we all know that no such place exists, and that none of that is real. When we go out to work, asking and listening are placed by telling and the convoluted interests of insecurity and greed. But after listening to this, maybe next time you see a person who's wanting, you might stop and ask them what they need.
Yeah.